Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. What is going on, brothers and sisters? It is Daniel here, and we're back here again today. Alhamdulillah. Today we have Dad joining us for the most recent. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it already. I'm a little bit late, but I haven't seen it. It's Bassem Youssef on the Patrick Bet David show. Actually, my dad's already seen this too. I'm like super behind. But we have this little clip here. I want to watch this clip, so let's.
I haven't seen what you picked out yet.
But you haven't seen, but you watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing, but I haven't seen what you picked
This
out.
clip, okay.
All right.
I actually think you're a smart guy. I actually think you know your stuff. You're just so fixated that Israel's the problem. The problem in the Middle East, like I said, follow the money. The countries that are succeeding, the Qataris, even the Saudis these days, they're coming into the modern world. They're leaving the 6th century mentality behind and say, let's get into the 21st century. Where they need to succeed, in whether it's Gaza or whether it's Lebanon or whether it's Syria and whether Afghanistan, they need to focus on GDP, not GDT. Gross domestic product, not gross domestic terrorism. And the problem is they're obsessed. Put the guns down. Put the Quran down. Actually start living by the words that the Quran says, not some false.
Which one is it? He said, put the Quran down and follow the Quran.
Yeah.
You can't have both. Pick one, buddy.
Equivalent of what they think is actually going on there. You talk about the genocide in Israel or in Gaza as if it's just a matter of fact. Well, let me show some stats for you, because after you see these stats, Israel's the worst genociders ever. The numbers, according to the world data, if you trust data, between 1990 and 2022, the Palestinian population overall went from 2 million to 5 million, okay? Pretty bad at genocide if that's what's happening right there. In Gaza, it went from 645,000 to 2.1 million. It's 3x. That ain't genocide to me. Now, do 20,000 people, 30,000 people needlessly killed during this bullshit war that was started by Hamas? Is that horrible? 1,000,000%. And any Jew or any Israeli
Give me that
who
number
said
again. 600,000 to what?
645,000 to 2.1 million.
From what to
That's
from
in
when
Gaza.
from when to where?
This is in 1990 to 2022.
Do you know
Pull it
why
up.
they increased?
Because they're having babies like crazy.
No. You see, this is how like when you watch data while being uninformed makes you look very stupid.
Tell me why. Tell me how the population has gone from 2 million to 5 million.
Yeah, because most of the 1.5 extra million didn't come from Gaza. They were pushed away from other parts of Israel. So most of these people, they have increased because of refugees being kicked out.
If you're talking about the settlers, those are tens of thousands. Stop
I'm talking
it.
about
those
Gaza.
aren't millions of people.
Dude, listen. My
moving their
wife's
houses.
family is not from Gaza, and yet they found themselves in Gaza because they were sitting in other cities and villages outside Gaza. This is the systemic pushing of people from other parts of Israel, pushing them
That's
to
not
Gaza.
millions of people. This is why I said that you're
1.5
intellectually
million.
dishonest or intellectually lazy.
No.
That's not the cause of millions of people being moved. I'm familiar with the settler
No.
stuff.
I think they do also have a lot of kids, though.
Oh, yeah, but...
They do also have a lot of kids, but I think what he's saying...
yeah, okay.
No?
Well, I know they do, but I'm still saying that they routinely mow the lawn.
You mean people?
Yeah. Yeah, they call it mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also people move there.
2004, 2006, 2008. I mean, just...
Mow the lawn.
Nothing changed. Well, it's pretty sad.
And the disengagement in 2006.
You don't know what you're talking about. These are people that
millions
were
of
outside.
people.
What?
Okay.
The people who belong to Gaza are 700,000 people. Right now, Gaza is 2.2 million. That is not birth rate, my friend. These are people pushed from, and by the way, that's not the first time. 1948, at the night of the declaration of the State of Israel, 1.5 million Palestinians were moved overnight. So it's not the first thing. So before you giving me numbers you want to appear smart, know what are behind the numbers, because these are not people giving babies.
Okay.
These are people being pushed from other places in order to be part of the open air prison that it is.
Okay, so then
it's not delivered.
If you want to fact check me, let me fact check you. Anytime that there's numbers increasing, Bassem, going from 650, 450, whatever you want to call it, to 2 million, however it happens, that's the exact opposite of a genocide. So the whole genocide, the whole open air prison are talking points. Are talking points of BS.
Can you just look at that as 5 million there? Now it's 2 million. So What happened to the 3 million? Or is it because the West Bank is the 3 million and the 2.2 million in Gaza brings it up to 5 million? I don't know.
I don't know either. I think some people have left, and like what? How many people have died now? Like 20,000 or something.
30,000 now.
30.
Yeah.
No,
And this is why I said you were intellectually lazy, or you just hate Israel.
Basically, this whole thing about you hate Israel and hate Islam.
Yeah, but what this guy's saying is that because the population is going up, disproves the idea that there's a genocide.
That there's not a genocide is what he's saying.
Yeah, disproves the idea that there is a genocide.
Oh, okay.
But Bassem is saying, well, a lot of the people that the reason that the numbers are going up is because people are being displaced from other areas
into Gaza.
And then his retort to that, his counter to that is that if the numbers are going up, that means there isn't a genocide. But that's pretty illogical, right? Because if there could simultaneously be a genocide happening, and then also people being displaced, and then that would, if it was enough people being displaced.
You mean if you want a race of people, you move them all together into one place,
and
into one area, and then kill them?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
What
interesting.
What he's saying is illogical. It could be true, but it's just like numbers. Like, yeah, if you were more people than you're moving in, then yes, that would be true. But if you're moving in more people than then the numbers would go up.
Right.
It's a very lazy way to talk to people.
It's kind of like your thing.
What did I tell you that is so lazy? What did I tell you, like you're fucking racist?
Because you've already said that multiple times.
No, I didn't say.
Yeah, you did. You said that multiple times.
I said your undertone is racist. No,
Okay.
that's not what.
So not me, but what's going on inside of me.
And someone, like the way that you analyze numbers is very lazy. Because again,
really, when I actually use stats and data from the most credible sources, that's lazy.
These are numbers that were outside of Gaza.
You've said no stats. You've given fucking opinions
like
the whole time.
that California has increased triple, or the size people in Texas increased because of birth rate. No, they increased because people from California started moving voluntarily. You have pushed 1.5 million people outside of Gaza, inside of Gaza in a matter of 12 years, and that's why the number has inflated. It's not because they were giving birth rate.
So then where's the genocide?
They were evacuated.
Where's this alleged genocide happening?
That's happening right now under your eyes.
So as of 3 months ago, there was no genocide. So it's just a new thing.
We didn't actually use the word genocide before 3 months ago.
Okay, but you've been calling for the river for the sea.
We didn't use it
for decades.
Well, also Israel have a lot of maps that is putting in the greater Israel from the Nile and the Euphrates. That's genocide for 5 countries there. And this is not by people in the street or people on YouTube. These are ministers. These are officials in the official government of Netanyahu. If you have someone, an Arab president, like the Egyptian president or the Jordanian king tell you from the river and the sea, it's like, oh, it's the Arab authorities. You are basically complaining people on Facebook and the official viewpoint of the Israeli government. You're basically comparing apples to oranges. It doesn't make any sense. You're basically comparing activists with people with power, with money, and with weapons. So I don't know how come you're comparing them.
What's your solution? Because you got all these answers and we have no solutions. What's your solution?
Justice. Stop killing people and give them back their land. That's it.
Okay.
And giving them back the land, it's going to be a much more complicated thing.
Who's going to lead your negotiations? Mahmoud Abbas, 88 years old?
I have no idea, man.
No,
I have no idea.
That's the point, you don't have an idea.
Well, when I say I have no idea, I'm being humble because there's a million people who can do it, but like I'm not a politician, I'm a comedian. I come here to tell some...
This guy's totally disarmed now. He switched from like, there's no genocide to... you don't know exactly how to solve the entire problem, so what?
Who's your leader?
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You don't have the answers.
That's your problem.
My opinions, but the thing is, you want to put me and you use that and you give me, I'm sorry to say, butchered political information and numbers that doesn't say anything.
Stats are really butchered in political.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how you have all the solutions for Israel.
Do you know who this guy is? Who is he? Who is this guy?
I have no idea.
What's his name? He's an idiot.
No solutions for Gaza or Hamas. Very interesting. Very interesting how you can critique everything that's going on in Israel. Yes, they do have some things they need to rectify, just like the United States, just like any democracy. You've got all the answers there, Bassem. When I said, what do they do over here in Gaza? What do they do? I have no idea. I'm just a comedian. Don't listen to me. So which one is it? You either know your shit or you're actually just...
So what was your question? What's the solution for Israel?
So what's the solution
I said the Israel
for
take
Gaza?
Back the land. For Gaza, how about you stop the killing and then we can talk?
Okay, so let's say we do that.
Okay.
So here's what I believe. I think we need to demilitarize Gaza. We need to de-radicalize because they're the leading.
How are you going to deregulate? How do you do
Well,
that?
maybe let's stop.
So how about
let's stop summer schools where they teach about
really?
jihad and they start playing football and soccer.
How about the religious schools in Israel that actually tell people that we should kill all Arabs? And these
Well,
videos are
you know all those
idea.
Jews that are running around bombing everywhere around the world? No, it doesn't fucking exist.
Oh,
it's
really?
only in Islam.
Oh, really?
But what about the Jews killing the Palestinians inside?
I'm talking about around the world. If I said there was
we're bad people. We're bad people.
No,
Take us out.
that's not what I'm saying.
No, we're very hot.
Okay, what I'm saying is they need to.
Terrorist religion. We are a terrorist religion. Take it out.
You said it. Your
Let's
words.
do it.
You
Yeah,
said it.
let's
Your
do
words.
It. Yeah.
Your words.
Let's do it. I mean, like
your
this
words.
This is like you have a really interesting outlook for people who look like me. You look at me and I'm Muslim, and you have all of these assumptions about me being a terrorist, while Islam is not a terrorist.
You
know
said
what's-
the words,
what's the
Bassem.
difference
I didn't say those words.
You know what's the difference between
You said
Islamic
the words.
terrorists? They go on like some rogue groups and they kill and they do shitty stuff. But you have like a whole country with a whole military arsenal who is committing terrorism every single day, backed up by
There it
the
is.
US.
There's your Israel talking.
Yeah.
Israel
I'm going to talk
about-
it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Totally
That's
cool.
my opinion.
I see his point. Like there's a lot of stuff on the news about Islamic terrorism of the last 20 years or so.
19.
But there's also like he's saying that Judaism does. He said, what did he say? It doesn't effing exist. Jewish terrorism. The thing is, it does exist. It's just not labeled as that in the media, and it's not exposed. Like you're not seeing, Palestinians being drone strikes labeled as terrorism. It's like they'll say like Palestinian children caught in crossfire. Yeah.
How did that camp get? I mean, they sent them to a camp
Yeah.
and said, "Here, you need
Go to
to
this
take
camp."
refuge here," and then they camp.
Yeah.
They put them on a bus, tell them this is a safe path, and then they the bus.
But that's
I'm
not
so sick of it.
that's not terrorism.
No.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So it's pure. What's that called? You ever read the book 1984?
I haven't read the whole book. No.
There's
I
a
can't say that I have.
newspeak. It's called newspeak. It's like the way that you use words to kind of justify your own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. It's just they don't use the terrorist word when Jews kill people, but they use it when Muslims, when these extreme groups of terrorists that claim to be Muslims kill people. They say, "Oh, all Muslims are terrorists," when like Islam is close to the biggest religion in the world, or if not the biggest religion in the world, and there's very few incidences otherwise of violence. When you have one incident, they label it as terrorism and they blow it up.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It's all good. But you're trying to tell me that Islam doesn't have a terrorist problem?
Muslims have a terrorist problem.
Correct.
It's like when you say Islam has a Muslim problem, when you say Judaism has a Muslim problem. All right, a lot of Muslims are assholes and they're doing horrible stuff. And
He said Muslims have a terrorist problem. I don't know exactly what he means by that. I guess he means like
Extreme terrorist is what he's trying to paint there.
yeah, but
People that strap bombs on their chests.
right. But to say that like the way I see it is like you can't be a Muslim and a terrorist at the same time because the definition of a Muslim would mean that you wouldn't do that. So you can't be a Muslim and a terrorist. So by him saying we have Muslims have a terrorist problem, I think he's saying that as Muslims, we need to keep an eye out for extremism in our communities and encourage people not to go into these little sects and groups and militarized terrorist groups. I think that's what he means.
Right, it is. And need to find peace through negotiations, not through war.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if people would just listen to this guy a little more, maybe they could figure that out. I don't know.
do not feel the need to defend those people because those people don't represent me. The thing is,
if
people
Jews were
but the
running
thing-
around all over the world blowing themselves up as suicide bombers, as a Jew, I'd be like, guys, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Okay.
This is accomplishing nothing.
So let's
but
keep
here's
the-
the
so let's keep
but
the
here's the
people in
reality.
Gaza. That's
Jews
what
aren't
people-
doing that, and Christians
Jews are
aren't
not.
doing
They came
that.
out of
Jews are not.
tunnels.
Let me ask you a
They're
question.
not doing that in
Let me-
Gaza. They're not doing that in the West Bank.
Everything you talk about is Gaza. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
because
the
that's
world.
what's happening
You're
right now.
so obsessed with this one topic.
I am.
I'm trying
Because
to
my
understand
family
the
lived
world.
there.
Okay,
Because
my
my
family
family
lives
lived
there.
but my family's in Israel.
Really?
So only your family counts. My family doesn't
No,
count.
no, no. Okay, but like, did your family are living in an open air prison and being killed every day?
The open air
Like-
prison, the genocide.
Oh,
Get
open-
them.
you see how you're
get
making
them
fun?
new talking
You see
points.
how
open air
it's the
prison.
only talking point.
Israel left
It's the
Gaza
only
in
talk-
2006.
It didn't leave. It
Okay.
left and they put it under blockade.
It's called a disengagement.
No, there's
why
no-
do they have a blockade? Maybe because they're shooting missiles.
So this guy's an Israeli. Now
Yeah.
we know why he's like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
His family lives in Israel.
Hundreds of times a day.
But he said he's not a Jew. He insinuated that he's not a Jew, but yet his family lives in Israel. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'd pretty much put a
Yeah.
country in a blockade if they were shooting missiles
you cut them
every
from
single
the air,
day.
cut them from the sea, cut them from the water. It's like, okay, go live. How do you do that?
Let's move on from Israel because I know you're hyper obsessed with it.
Again, he's just making.
They just avoided that one, or you said, yeah, because of the blockade. He's like, oh, we got to change the subject.
Yeah,
now.
switch it up. He just keeps making like false dichotomies and illogical fallacies. He's saying that because what is he saying? Because Muslims, there's acts of quote unquote Islamic terrorism that happens throughout the world. That's
Just kill them all.
yeah, that means that Islam has a problem, whereas Judaism or Zionism is killing only one group of people in one part of the world. That's okay. Is that pretty much what he's saying? Then
Maybe that's it.
what are you saying, dude? What is your actual argument here?
We've limited our death to just Gaza.
Yeah. So lay
We
off.
do it all big. We just in a small area.
Yeah,
I
lay
got
off,
you.
man.
Yeah.
You guys do it all over. We just do it at one place.
Right. Mind your
Hyper-
P's.
You keep asking me about Israel.
No, I ask you about the world, and I'm asking you about Christianity and Muslims and Judaism. You want to focus on Israel. Why can Muslims move to any Christian country they want, but Christians and Jews can move to 0 Muslim countries? Why is that?
What about Dubai? What about
I'll ask
Saudi
it again.
Arabia? What about all of these countries? What are you talking about?
You mean the
You
country?
just mentioning Qatar and Dubai and all of there's like a lot of expats living there.
So the middle. This is my point, and I'm glad you're catching on.
Yeah.
That I'm not racist. I'm pointing out.
Well, there are Christian countries who like shit. I wouldn't use that because of the economy.
I'm pointing out that in certain Muslim countries they're getting it right, or at least
Okay.
attempting to.
Good for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, good for them. Good for Qatar. Good for UAE. Good for Saudi and what MBS is doing. Good for them. They're examples of what could be done. Gaza, if they took the billions of government of international aid, could be Dubai, but they decided to make a terror state. So the question that I'm asking is,
are you saying that like, there's so many money coming in and just like Hamas used it in order to make weapons?
there's people of Hamas who are literal billionaires living in Qatar, flying around on private jets. How do you explain that?
They're horrible people, and I don't condone them. All right,
Okay.
I'm talking about the millions of people in Gaza. Who
But
don't have
horrible people, Hamas. Let's not talk about that. We'll move on. But Israel. Let me give you a dissertation over here.
Like,
I'm trying to give you
you're
some.
just like shouting over me.
I'm
just
not.
to make
Because every time I'm talking,
you are basically
you
going
talk.
around all of the stuff that's happening with Muslim people that is bad, and then what you're doing is you are undertoning. You are trying to find an excuse to keep that killing in Gaza continue because Muslims are bad, Muslims are terrorists, Muslims are poor. So let's just like kill those people in Gaza.
You are
this is exactly what
so
you're doing.
intellectually lazy. It's comical because I'm not even talking about Gaza.
You keep insulting me.
We're
You keep
gonna
insulting me
wrap up.
Because I'm trying.
Because like you are a motherfucking racist. You know, like how would
What
you
have
feel
I
if
said
said
that's
that?
racist? I'm saying that
Everything
there's.
that you say about racism, the way that you speak about Muslims, that we are terrorists and we are horrible people. Basically, you're telling people that we deserve to die.
Bassem,
And
you
Israel
said-
has everything to do in order to kill those people. So, anyways, if
I've said 0 of those words.
Hopefully, if
You are putting
hopefully,
all those words
if
in my mouth.
If
I've said
if
0 of
my wife's
those
cousin,
words.
who's a doctor,
I wanna
gets
see him
killed
get in the
tomorrow,
ring.
I'm going to send you a postcard.
So if my actual cousin gets killed in Israel,
They
that's
will not-
okay.
They will not, because
That's
you know
okay.
what? They are safe because he is not living in an open air
Oh,
prison.
why are they safe? Maybe because they have the Israeli Defense Force, the Iron Dome that
Good for
stops
you. Good for you.
all the missiles.
They don't have that.
Yeah, but
they don't have that.
Maybe you should have built that instead of tunnels.
with what?
With all the billions of foreign aid that was given.
What billion foreign aid are you? These,
How much money
all
does
these
Iran
bil-
give? How much money does Qatar
All
give? How much does the
single money
international
is
community?
actually trickled through Israel. You understand that Israel is actually holding
Your
that tax
argument
money
holds no weight because all you're doing is
Now they're
defending
just yelling
Hamas.
over each other.
You have zero argument.
I'm the last one to defend Hamas, by the way, and I've actually said the terrorist group, and I'm a big fan of Hamas. But I'm just giving you some facts. Every single money that goes into Gaza goes through Israel. As a matter of fact, Biden has a big problem with Netanyahu because he's withholding the tax money that paid by the Palestinian people to the Palestinian Authority, and Netanyahu is holding it back. Have you heard about that? Have you read about that? Just 2 days ago, if you're reading your stuff, but you don't. But the thing is, Netanyahu is holding back the tax money from the Palestinian in West Bank, and he's not giving it to
You're so funny, man. You're so funny.
No, you're just so ignorant.
You're saying all the money that's going to Hamas is coming through Israel? Sure.
Filtered through Israel.
Sure. All the money.
Filtered through Israel.
Yeah, all the money from Iran going right through Israel. Sure. That's likely. All the money from Qatar.
Transfer by Netanyahu in 2019, the Likud party, telling them that he is actually overlooking the amount of money coming from Qatar, and he is doing that in order to split the Palestinian Authority. Listen to me.
I'm familiar with this. I'm not disagreeing
with... How about you listen, educate yourself about that.
I'm not disagreeing that Netanyahu has done some fucked up things.
Here it is.
Okay?
Here it is. Oh my God, here it is.
Biden is in frustrating call told Bibi to solve Palestinian tax revenue issue.
Yeah, because Israel is withholding the taxes. You understand every single money transaction.
That's your argument right there?
No, that's part of the argument. Every single money transaction, whether it's taxes, whether aids, it has to go through the Israeli government.
So all the money that Iran is funding Hamas, you're saying that goes through Israel? Is that what you're saying?
Through Qatar, through Israel.
Okay. That's so false. It's so flagrantly false.
I want you to educate yourself more.
Okay, I will. I'll go read up on this. But if you mean to tell me that Israel is intercepting the money that Iran is sending to Hamas and says, yeah, we'll send it to you guys, believe me, they're not doing it.
By the way, it's 11:15. It's 11:15. We're going to wrap up. Here's what I will say. I'm going to be very honest with both of you guys. I mean, I've been listening to both of you guys, and I love this. I love this. Let me tell you why. The average American right now is sitting there. There's a group that agrees with you. There's a group that agrees with you. Regardless of what it is, a lot was said, and it was actually pretty educated discussion. For me, I'm normally not this quiet. I love the fact that I heard this conversation. I loved it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to...
Click right here.
Don't click.
I wonder who that is.
I don't know, but earlier in the podcast, Chris Cuomo called Patrick Davis.
I don't know.
And he took his call during the...
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Chris Cuomo is? He was the governor of New York during the 2020 pandemic. And he got ousted for some improprietary actions with some of the people.
Dude.
At the state level. He's
all right.
No longer the mayor.
Okay. Well, yeah, that guy, some clear logical inconsistencies. Bassem Youssef, class act as always. Did a good job.
It was funny too.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe. We'll see. We'll see if there's any other clips that from this interview that interest me. Maybe we can watch another one. Not too bad. It's kind of fun to watch. This guy's pretty. It's fun to watch this guy's tower of cards come down for some reason because he's like no, I'm right. He's like really sure about it. And to see,
I've been told this my whole life.
Yeah,
I can't be wrong.
It's funny watching Bassem kind of pick him apart.
Mm-hmm. He does too.
Okay. May God make it easy for all the brothers and sisters in Palestine, and may Allah bless all of you generously for watching this video with us, and inshallah we will see you all in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.